Hey everyone, Happy New Year and welcome to FabFit TV. We had a little bit of a hiatus for the holidays and I hope you guys had a great holiday and your new year is off to an awesome start. So, it's January. Well, let me back up. I'm Kim and I am a healthy living expert and fitness coach, and I believe that there is a healthy and fit person inside of every single one of you, and all you need to do is just focus on the knowledge that you have, and you can bring out that healthy and fit person and fall back in love with your body and your life. So here we are, it's January. I'm sure everyone woke up on January 1st and they're like, this is the year. And you are gonna get fitter, you are gonna get healthier, you are gonna get wealthier, you are gonna get wiser, blah, 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 blah. So how do you go about doing that? Because that's a long list, and it can be overwhelming. And overwhelm stinks because some people thrive in the overwhelm. Some people just shut down. And they don't even want to think about moving forward. They don't want to think about anything. So what I have kind of thought over the years of what are the big things? And, most people, I call them rocks. What are the big rocks that I need to focus on if I want to live a healthier, fitter life? Now, so many people focus on these like small rocks, and they're subsets of these big rocks. But I'm talking like if I were to kind of like, create a wheel, and in that wheel I was to put in like, in my head I just thought of like Trivial Pursuit. If I was to think about like a wedge, and if I was going around and I was like collecting wedges, what would I put inside of each wedge? And the first thing, it's like, what are kind of like the big things that will really move the dial in feeling fitter? What are the big things that will move the dial in being healthier? What are the big things that you'll physically notice if you start focusing on that? And I say this because so many people will focus on the little rocks and then realize that the little rocks aren't getting them that far. And then get discouraged, like, oh, this is for the birds, why am I doing this, blah, 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 blah. So what I want to talk about, there's six big rocks: sleep, exercise, food, mindset, self-care, and stress. That was it, stress. So, many of you have heard me talk before about sleep. Like I talk sleep, I want to say it's probably one of the easier things to fix. And I talk about sleep a lot because sleep is kind of like this cascade, has a cascade effect. So if you think about, there's certain, say, I used to work for a hotel and I used to work for an advertising agency. And when I worked for the advertising agency, I used to schedule TV commercials. And all the TV commercials had to be loaded up on Thursday night by 6 o'clock. Because at 7 p.m., the computer shut down and it started running its schedule. And the schedule ran overnight. And if you didn't set it up just so, the computer didn't know what to do and didn't get scheduled. And then we were physically, the next morning we'd come in on Friday and we would literally have to manually schedule hundreds and thousands of TV commercials. So I want you to think that's the same way your body works. Your body is, like that program that like, there are so many actions that happen inside of our body that happen when we sleep. And if we don't get into like a certain period of sleep where we're in that REM sleep, we're in that deep sleep, there's certain activities that don't happen. Because if we're kind of in that semi-conscious state, our body's like, oh, they're still awake, so we can't run that program. And then when you don't run that program, then, so many things fall by the wayside. And the simplest way I know how to get to bed is create a bedtime ritual. And now I live in reality. I know that there's sometimes like, Saturday night, I was just like heads in to finishing up a project. And I was like, I want to finish this project. But that's one-off times. That's like every few weeks that I stay up way past my bedtime. And then but I do it on a night that I know that I can get that extra sleep. I don't do it on a night where I'm like, oh, I still have to get up tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I still have to do a full day work, blah, 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 blah. So I create a bedtime ritual, and it's funny because, like, you know, my husband just knows. Like, he's like, I punch out at like 9 p.m. I'm like, hey, off to bed. And he knows I'm doing my ritual. And so basically what my ritual is every night before I go to bed, I read for at least 10 minutes, 10 pages or 10 minutes, whatever works. I write, I journal for 10 minutes, I meditate for 10 minutes, and I do that, and I sleep like the dead. And do you have to do that same ritual? Not at all. And this ritual, literally, like, I start at like 9, you know, brush my teeth, wash my face, and then I start my ritual, and I'm like lights out no later than 10:30. And when I do get off schedule, it's weird. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, like, why am I so tired? Why is this? And then I go back, I'm like, oh, I didn't sleep. And I really, my Fitbit died, and I need to get another one. And I really rely on that to tell me, like, did I get my 7 hours of sleep? Because that's my bare minimum. My bare minimum, non-negotiable, is 7 hours of sleep. And, you know, your sleep ritual can be something completely different. You know, maybe someone who likes to take a bath. You know, a woman I know, Rachel, she's a bath person, and she tells her kids, she's like, this is mommy time. Mommy needs 30 minutes in this tub. She's like, don't sneak me notes underneath the door. Don't knock on the door. No one needs to. She's like, I'm in a bathroom that no one needs to be in. I need my 30 minutes, and it's my bath time. You know, so you pick what it is. You could do, you know, a yoga practice, whatever it is, but pick something that is kind of like starts to signal in your body like it's time to shut down. You know, if you think about if you have kids, you know, we do the same thing with our kids. Like, there's X number of stories we have to read. You know, there's tub, they're getting into your jammy, there's brushing your teeth. They have a ritual, and when they don't have that ritual, they're out of sorts. So I want you to kind of get into that ritual of sleeping. And then I know this one is going to be a little tricky because, you know, in the year 2017, we all have stress. We all have stressors. We all have things that in our life cause us to have stress. And the question is, how do we better manage our stress? Because stress is going to happen. And I'm be ridiculous if I said to you, oh, just don't be stressed out. You would literally click off. You'd be like, she don't know what she's talking about. And, you know, one of my biggest things is that as we get stressed, you know, the two biggest responses for us is that we either eat or we don't eat or we don't sleep. And so, you know, it just kind of is a systemic function that takes us out of health, and it's, you know, mapped back to stress. And so what I always tell people is that one of the biggest ways I know how to boost your health and to bust stress at the same time is get in motion. When I was in corporate, you know, I had a boss that I didn't really like a lot, and whenever, you know, she would just do her Cruella de Vil kind of activities to me, I would just, me and this other woman who was in my department, we would literally go out for a run. And so at 4 o'clock every day, we would go out for a run. And just in that, like, moving of my body, it just put me out of the state. It just changed. I changed my scenery. I changed the state. And I was able to come back in a more focused and a more clear way. Now, do you have to go out for a run? No, you can literally go and just walk around the block. You can, you know, do any form of exercise. You can dance it out, whatever. But sometimes just the movement of your body kind of changes the synapses in your brain, so that what seems, you know, stressful, what seems horrible, you might be able to put another spin on it by moving your body. Same thing with sleep. Like, you know, think about that 2 or 3 year old who didn't get enough sleep the night before. They are cranky, and you no matter what you do, you can't sue them because they're just in that place. They're just in that like tizzy place. Like everything spins them up. And the same thing with you. You know, if you're not sleeping, if you're stressed out, you're not sleeping, you're gonna be a big old, I think I can't say this on TV, but witch with a B. And I don't want that for you. Like, I want you to think about, you know, sleep. If you know, if you can get to sleep, then you might have a little less stress in your life. And sometimes you just need to declare a timeout. And, you know, sometimes I would just like be just so overwhelmed that I would call in for a mental health day. And I would just be like, you know what, I'm just going to check out. And even now when I work for myself, you know, sometimes, you know, I'm a hustler and I totally get it. I'm a driver, I'm a leader, but sometimes, you know, you have to give yourself permission to pull the car over. Give yourself permission to refuel. And there are days when I'm just like, you know what? I'm at my wit's end. I'm like pushing, I'm doing everything I possibly can, and I'm getting frustrated. So I'm just gonna check out for 4 hours. I'm just gonna check out. And I'm gonna binge watch TV, I'm gonna read, I'm gonna just go for lunch with a friend, just something that gets me out of the environment. And I'm just in this timeout and I'm just being. I'm not Kim the businesswoman, I'm not Kim the fitness trainer, I'm not Kim the wife, I'm just Kim chilling. And in that timeout is when I'm able to recharge my batteries. And again, you look at the situation in a very different way. You know, I read a ton of personal development books, and one of the best things that I heard was put a name on it. And for me, I journal twice a day. I journal in the morning and I journal at night. And just sit down and just write out what's going on. Like, what is causing the stress? You know, can you put a name to it? Is it a person? Is it a situation? And just write it out, because sometimes writing it out activates pieces of your brain that you consciously don't know about. But when you're writing, it's kind of just opens the door crack and it lets some of those thoughts scoot out. And the other thing I do, you know, when someone's like kind of like spun up about anything, there's a woman by the name of Byron Katie, and she asks these 4 questions that are just very like basic and simple. But I tell you, if you are in a tizzy about anything, relationships, health, work, money, it works for anything. So the 4 questions are, and again, it's in the show notes. It's always available on my website, fabfitsquad.com/live TV, and every single show that I've ever done is on there, and you also have the show notes and also have the replay. So the questions that Byron Katie asks is it true? And it's yes or no. There's no, well, but you don't know, blah, blah, blah. It's, is it true? Yes or no. Then you take it to the next level. If you say it's true, can you absolutely know for a fact that it's true? Then again, it's a yes or no. And then it's like, how do you react when you know it's true? Like, how do you react when you believe that all of this is happening to you? And then if you didn't have this thought, who would you be? And that's some deep stuff for you to really kind of map it through. And, you know, it's really easy when you're so close to it to just be like, just all up in it. And these questions help you kind of like take it from like a bird's eye view and really kind of detach from the situation, you know, take the emotions out and just answer the questions. Oh, excuse me. And then the other thing is, just if you're in the situation, you can't leave, you can't have your like time out, just some deep breathing. It's just really getting the oxygen going up and going down and really circulating. And, you know, I didn't really get this. And my massage woman, Sylvia, she's very woo-woo. And I love it because I'm not. And she's introduced me to a bunch of things that I probably would not have tried had it not been for her. So I'm grateful for her her insights, and I'm grateful to myself for being open to what's possible. And so in the deep breathing, it's literally you close your eyes and you breathe in deep, and then you exhale. And you do that 10 times. And by doing that, you're taking air from like down deep, pulling it up, energizing your brain, blowing it out. Taking air from the real deep, 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 energizing your brain, and then blowing it out. And if you do that for 10 rounds, you feel it's just mind-blowing, like the change. So you know what, we're gonna do it right now. So 10 times, so just literally, and I'll talk you through it. So inhale deep, and exhale. Second round. Exhale. 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 Halfway there. Deep inhale. 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 Almost there. Last two. How do you feel? It's pretty like, I mean, I feel lighter whenever I do it. I feel lighter. I do it a lot when I'm during the day when I kind of feel tired and I need a cup of coffee. It's a nice little energy boost without going downstairs and getting some caffeine. But it feels good, and it's just something simple. You can do it at your desk. Close your eyes. Go in the bathroom stall. Do it. The other big rock is nutrition. You know, this time of year, you know, you see all these ads about like, go wheat free, go dairy free, go soy free, blah, blah, blah. And everyone always wants to remove stuff. And I'm like, before you remove, check in and see what's going on. Check in and see what you're doing. You know, what are you actively eating? Because I'll tell you, you know, and I offer this to you, send me 3 to 5 days of a food journal. And I will guarantee you that you're eating too much or too little. And 9 times out of 10, it's too little, especially if you're someone who's very active. Or you're eating a lot of foods that aren't working for you. And so what I always ask people is, you know, start with what's going on with you before you start pulling out. Yeah, if you're dining on Ho-Hos and Oreos, you know, for sure, those have to come out. But if you already have a pretty clean diet, maybe it's you haven't changed your diet in a while. Maybe it's the timing of your meals. Maybe it's, you know, it could be you need to cycle through different meals. You know, there's a lot of different factors. Like, you know, nutrition has, you know, all these kind of like little dials that you can turn. And so it's not about less, but better. It's not about calories in, calories out. It's about the quality of the calories that come in. And so, you know, if you've been following me for a while, I don't count calories. I don't really give a rat's hind parts about calories. I look at the quality of the food that you're eating, and then we can kind of take it from there. Calories kind of come down the road. I want you to focus on what's good food, what's good nutrition, and then we can focus on the calories and the macronutrients. But at this point, I want to make it simple. Like I tell my clients, I want to make food as simple as sleeping. I want it to be that you just can go to any restaurant. You can go to a friend's house and not flip out like, oh my God, what am I gonna eat? I want it to just be like, oh, I'm going to so-and-so's house and this is what I know what I'm gonna have. I'm going to such and such restaurant, I know this is what I'm gonna have. And not scrutinize the menu and literally interrogate the chef and then be like, screw it, I'm just gonna go in the kitchen and do it myself. That's not what I want for you. So I want you to think about, keeping that food journal, because it's that food journal. Trust me, it's a pain in the rump shaker. I hate it, but I have to do it. The food journal, over the last 6 months, I've been working with a new nutritionist because I've been having some health issues, and it's the food journal is how she knows what's going on. And so nowadays, like, it's right here on my phone. And it has like a scanner that I can scan the actual food, be like, all right, I ate this and I ate X number of this in it, and I'm able to do that and make it so much simpler. So it's easy, or you can go old school and write on a piece of paper, whatever you feel like you need. The other thing is exercise. You have to. I mean, I don't care what you're doing. If it's just a walk, give me something. Ideally, I want you thinking about exercising 3 to 4 times a week. And that is a combination of cardio and strength. Cardio is great. It works your heart, but strength works every muscle in your body. And for us ladies, we're more susceptible to osteoporosis. And when we strength train, it helps us to secure the muscle to our bone and makes our bones stronger. So we really need that strength training component. And you need to be lifting heavy weight. You need to be lifting a weight that in the last 3 to 4 reps, it feels hard. So it's not like you're going to one of these classes where you're lifting 3-pound weights for 400 times. That's just fatigue. That's not strength training. So if you have questions about that, again, you can hit me up at my website, fabfitsquad.com, and there's a contact form in there. You can hit me up right there. And the last piece is, it comes down to setting your mind and actually seeing yourself as successful. I want you to think about when athletes, for example, Olympic athletes, it's once every 4 years, right? You go to the Olympics, and they visualize what it's like to cross the finish line. They visualize the feeling of, perfect story. So this past summer, last summer, was the Summer Olympics, and there was a hurdler, and he tripped on, it was the second or the third hurdle. There was no way he was going to win. Like, those people they just take off. He dusted himself off and finished the race, because that's what he saw in his mind. He saw in his mind finishing the race. So I want you to think about the same thing. Are you going to finish the race, or is one little trip up going to send you packing? It's like, visualize you finish, visualizing what it will feel like when you're the healthiest and fittest you can be. Visualize what it'll feel like when you start not feeling like crap. Visualize what it'll feel like when, running a mile doesn't feel like your lungs are going to come out of your chest. Visualize that stuff. And, have stuff that you can get into the zone. When I'm trying to get ready for anything, get ready for the show, get ready to write to my tribe, I have what I call my playlist. My hit list, and it's like there's music that's on there's YouTube videos that I go to, and just find the thing that works for you. For me, like, I love like Les Brown, I love Eric Thomas, and then there's offshoots of that, and there's it's like this video clip of like the 8 most motivational pieces of movies, and it just I feel inspired. I'm like, okay, I got this. I listen to a song and I'm like, yep, I got this. Like right now, the song that I've been listening to that like makes me feel like